Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a very step-by-step talk-through tutorial on this classic Christmas makeup look that I have on right now. This is a very dramatic version of a classic holiday look. I'm going to have a wide range of options throughout the month of December with natural looks, wearable looks, and dramatic looks that are more party and festive and whatever. So hope you guys enjoy seeing how I got this look today. I'm going to walk you through it step-by-step and give you a lot of tips and tricks, especially some tips and tricks for hooded eyes and just tips and tricks for creating the cut crease effect. So I hope you guys like this video and I hope you enjoy following along. Please subscribe and let's get into it. To start off this look, I'm going to be using the Found Nourishing Liquid Foundation. I have the shade 130 light medium. I got this from walmart.com. This is one of the best foundations. So I'm going to put 2 pumps on the back of my hand and then just grab my IT Cosmetics brush and just start buffing it in on the skin. Just covering up some of the redness, all of it. And then I'm gonna grab a little bit and bring it down the neck. You don't have to do this, but I just feel like even when my foundation matches my neck pretty perfectly, which this does not right now, but even when it does, I still feel like the finish isn't identical. It helps to make everything match and look very cohesive, and so you don't have any lines or anything, because it's very hard to match exactly to your skin tone. Even when it does, your skin tone is always changing if you're out in the sun or if you're more pink one day or, you know, whatever. For my concealer, I'm gonna mix 2 together. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer, and this is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. I have this one in shade medium, and this one is in the shade 350 Bisque. This gives a very matte full coverage, where this gives a little bit more dewy of a finish. I don't necessarily want to say dewy, but just a little bit more skin-like of a finish. I really like mixing them together. I am just gonna go in and blend these out. Oh, those 2 mixed together just give such a beautiful finish. Just getting right up under the lashes. I'm gonna use a liquid highlighter today. This is the Milani Strobe Light Liquid Highlighter in the color Summer Glow. This is very, very beautiful. It reminds me a lot of the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand there. Hopefully this isn't too dark. And then start applying it on the cheekbone. It might be a little bit too dark for me right now. It's pretty much matching my skin tone. I'll probably just have to go over this with a powder highlighter, but that's okay. Still really pretty. I'm gonna do down the nose. I feel like you can really see it there. And then I'll do Cupid's bow. I'm gonna go in and use the NYX 3 Steps to Sculpt palette. I love this. This is in the shade Fair. This might be a little bit too cool toned for me right now. I'm not sure if it is. I'm just gonna have a very dramatic contour, but I love this because you have the under eye setting powder, a contour color, and you have your highlighter. They do have multiple shades in this. I'm just gonna take this here and set the under eye. When I first tried this, I was so excited. I always get a lot of comments about when I first tried this. I'll insert a clip here of when I was talking about this in a favorites video, and so many of you guys bring that up to me. It's so funny. I just want to like shove this up my butt. For my bronzer, I'm going to be using the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer in Sunkissed. This is one of my favorite bronzers. It just gives a very beautiful finish to the skin, and I really like this color too. At first I thought it was going to be too light on me, but it works out. Do you hear my bench? It's just not well made at all, which duh, it was like super inexpensive, but still. If you're gonna apply 10 pounds of bronzer like I do, don't forget your ear. So I'm gonna go in and just do that on my ear so it isn't too harsh of a difference. I'm gonna go back into the 3 Steps to Sculpt palette, and I'm gonna go into the contour shade, deepen up this bronziness, create some shadows and depth to the skin. I get a lot of questions on the difference between like bronzing and contouring, and bronzing is more of a broader area, more of like warming up the skin tone or making it look like the sun has kissed your face, stuff like that, where contouring is creating shadows on the skin to make your face appear differently. It's like creating shadows and highlights on the face, where bronzing just gives like an overall warmth or sun-kissed look. That's like the most snatched nose contour I have done in a minute. Ooh, it's like an Instagram filter nose. For my blush, I have two sitting here. This one's my favorite, but it's completely shattered. This is the Essence Satin Touch Blush in Satin Love. I think I'm gonna go in with this one just because I don't feel like making a mess. This is the Satin Coral blush from Essence. I am going to pop this on my cheeks. Add a little bit of peachiness to the skin. These remind me so much of the Tarte Amazonian clay blushes. I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild Precious Petals highlighter. Wait, I think Precious Petals is the color. So I'm gonna go in with this, and I'm gonna go over where we put that liquid highlighter, and then I'm going to use my finger to dot it on the nose, right at the tip and on the bridge, and then use the brush to blend that out. For my eyebrows, I really wanna try this pencil from e.l.f. My friend Amanda told me that this is thebomb.com, so I picked it up and I haven't tried it yet. It's the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. Neutral brown is the color that I got, so it just looks like one of these like really fine tipped brow pencils. So I'm going to very lightly run through my brows with this. I haven't really been going too crazy with brows just because I can still feel that they're still healing, so I don't really apply a lot of product. I just kind of dot where I need a little bit of extra love. So like right in the front here, I need more going on, and then just spotting it through with the tail. Right up here, and then I'm gonna bring it right here on the front, and then I'm gonna do strokes going upwards. Brows are done. I'm quickly just gonna prime my eyes. I'm gonna be using the Painterly Paint Pot from MAC. I know this isn't drugstore, but I literally don't even use anything other than this. And then just set it into place with my finger, and then just setting my lids with a little bit of powder from that 3 Steps to Sculpt palette. So I'm gonna be using the Milani Most Loved Mattes palette, and this is what the inside looks like. It's just a bunch of beautiful neutral matte shades. You've got your warm row, cool row, and then your neutral row. Probably gonna stick around the neutral row, but I might bounce around a little bit. I'm gonna start with this shade here. Just gonna bring this here in the crease. I'm also gonna take this underneath and look up so you can access that area, and then do the same thing on this eye, and then bring it underneath on this side as well. And I like to connect it to where the shadows ended over here. Moving to a little bit of a smaller brush, and I'm going to grab, I think I'm actually gonna mix this shade with this shade. This one's very warm, where this has a little bit of like a Marsala undertone. We'll see what this looks like. I'm gonna just pop this here in the crease as well, do the same thing, but keep this a little bit more focused in the crease. And this, I'm just really working with my bone structure so I can just feel my bone in there, and I'm just kind of pushing the brush in and like under the bone of my eye and just working with the natural shape that my eye already has. Same thing over here. I'm gonna go back into that first shade on a fluffy brush and just blend out everything we just did. I'm gonna go into a little pencil brush, and I'm going to grab this shade right here. I might add on a little bit of the center shade because it's kind of like a dark purple, but I think I want to keep it very neutral for now. So I'm going to go into this one. I'm just very lightly going to wiggle this right in on the crease. Regardless of your eye shape, look down into your mirror so you can see that whole lid area. If you're looking straight, it's going to be hard to know exactly where to go. If you do have hooded eyes though, you could look straight so that you could change where the crease of your eye is and make it higher. Once you have an idea of where that's at, then look down into your mirror and go right where you want your crease to be. So I'm just wiggling on the crease. I'm just creating a pretty dramatic line here. And now I am gonna add just a little bit of that center shade in here. Just a little, it'll really deepen it up. And so now once the majority of the product is off of this brush, I'm just gonna start kind of wiggling the edges, and I'm holding pretty far back so I'm not applying too much pressure. I just want it to be a light dusting of what's already on here, and just very lightly kind of like move this dark shade up just a touch, just so it fades a little bit. I'm gonna go in with like a really long pointed brush. There are a lot of different kinds of brushes out there that are like this, but the one I'm using today is a Wayne Goss 19 brush. You can see it's just really long, but also very pointed on the top here. It's not like a pencil brush, it's just really flexible, still fluffy, but it has that length and that point, so I can come in here and really blend this out. I am going to approach this from the top of my eye. As I work, it's going to kind of fall down, but if you mentally think to come from above, it will help to blend the eyeshadows upwards instead of downwards. I'm gonna go into this shade here. I'm looking down into my mirror and tilting my head so I can see where I'm at, and I'm just going to go right on those darker shades and kind of buff them here. I'm gonna go into the first shade, which is a little bit more neutral, and then go in with a fluffy brush and blend that out. I'm gonna go and sharpen this up and make it extra sharp. I'm gonna take this concealer. I'm not gonna take the Maybelline one. I'm gonna use the L'Oreal one just because this is very matte and that's what I want. You could go in with like the Painterly Paint Pot like I did to prime with, but this will make it even more dramatic because it's so full coverage. I dot this here on the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna go in with a very flat brush and I'm gonna go right at that edge. I'm stamping the product right there. The shape of this brush is perfect because that's exactly like the curvature that you have here. And then once I have that stamped right there, I'm going to look straight ahead, or you could look up, but then say you have hooded eyes, or even if you wanted that crease to be even higher than your natural crease, when you open your eye and look straight, it's gonna fold exactly where your eye folds. So that color is going to transfer higher if you need it higher. Now today I did put it pretty much as high as my crease could go, but if I wanted it higher, I could move this higher, and when I look up, it would transfer up to the highest point, if that makes sense. It's just a little trick for doing cut creases if you want a bigger lid space. I'm just stamping it where I need it. Before that dries and before I work on this eye, I'm going to set that with some powder. I'm going to use this shade right here in the palette, and then I'm gonna go into the lightest shade and put that on the inner part. I'm gonna grab that pencil brush and lightly go right at the edge so I don't have any like chunky seams, and it reinforces that dark line and that contrast between the light and the dark. Now I'm gonna go in with a fluffy brush, and I want to kind of fade the outer lid in. So the cut part is just like on this inner part of the lid, and then it kind of like poofs out, and then we'll do a wing and just, I'm gonna go into this color here, pushing this on the outer corner. I'm also gonna add in a little bit of this shade down here. I'm just kind of flicking it inwards to fade into the rest of the eye. I'm gonna use the face highlighter, the Precious Petals, and highlight my brow bone and my inner corner. I added a little bit of this Pixie highlighter just because I wanted it to be a little bit more, you know. I'm gonna go in and do a pretty dramatic wing. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Cat Eye liner. This is one of my favorites. I'm gonna go in with some concealer and try to fix this wing because it's just looking crazy. Anytime I fix a wing, I always go in with some concealer on the other side just so that they both have that contrast and that brightness underneath them. I'm gonna go in on the under eye area with just this shade here. Just give some definition. I'm also gonna bring this over here and bring it a little underneath this liner. I'm gonna go in with that like Marsala sort of shade and bring this right at the lashes. I'm gonna take that brown shade and also bring this right at the lashes, and I'm using a more defined brush. That might have been a little bit too dark for what I want, so I'm gonna go into like the lighter browns and just kind of go over that to diffuse it. I'm gonna grab the Rimmel Nude Liner and pop it in on my waterline. I'm randomly just going to add this like reddish shade here on a fluffy brush right into the socket of the eye just because I feel like it was a little bit cool toned. And I want this to be kind of like a mix of warm and cool. See, I just feel like that added a touch more life to it. And also underneath. Okay, I'm gonna go into the L'Oreal Lash Paradise Mascara. And then for false lashes, I'm gonna go in with these Kiss Pixie lashes. My lashes are on and I applied some mascara on the bottom lashes. Now I wanna do like a very dramatic, bold lip. Got the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Matador. Just like a nice, deep, dark, like a crimson red. And then for my lip liner, I have this, which might be too dark, but I also really like it. This is the LA Girl, I've never tried this color, Burgundy. I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips and overline them. I'm not a fan of this. It's just going on lighter and it's starting to kind of like bleed already. So would not recommend this. I'm just gonna go in with my favorite red lip pencil and just kind of like go over that. All right, I'm just gonna fill this in. And now I'm gonna go into the Matador liquid lipstick. I really love this look. I feel like it's just so glam and so dramatic. Very classic, dramatic. All right, you guys, that completes everything for this tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed following along, and I hope that my tips and tricks were helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments, and also let me know down there what video you want to see next. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.